Welcome to Love It or Leave It Live or Else after a week where nothing much happened. I'm going to do it again. Welcome to Love It or Leave It Live or Else after a week where nothing much happened. Well, react like you did the fucking first time. No, leave it in now. Leave it in. What a week. We begin tonight with legal news that has rocked the nation. At approximately 5 p.m. local time, we learned that the jury had reached a monumental decision in a case that pits a powerful narcissist against justice itself. Gwyneth Paltrow won her civil case against deranged optometrist Terry Sanderson. He's the narcissist. All right. Here we go. On Thursday, it finally happened.
We have just gotten word former President Donald Trump has been indicted.
The Bill of Rights is gone.
It's been a long time since I was in law school, but I remember the old saying, you can indict a ham sandwich.
This is the third act of the movie, right? It really is. This is how it has to be. This guarantees his nomination.
That's right. A Manhattan jury voted to indict Donald Trump on charges related to hush money he paid to porn actress Stormy Daniels, according to 4 sources who spoke to the New York Times. Well, folks, it's Mueller time. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Nothing like this has ever happened. What are we supposed to say? The libs are unprepared. The Krasenstein brothers just crashed into a window like migrating birds. Brian, the balloon drop. Release the balloons. That's a shame. They've been up there too long. The grand jury vote makes Donald Trump both the first former president to be criminally charged and the first future president to be criminally charged as well. In case you've forgotten the sordid details, good news. God has cursed me, so I will never forget them. In a nutshell, Michael Cohn, Trump's former lawyer and TV moron, has admitted that the former president used the Trump Organization to help cover up his indiscretion with Stormy Daniels, paying her $130,000 and cooking the company's books by claiming those payments were actually legal expenses, an effort to hide their true purpose. Can you believe that with all that Trump has done, all the terrible crimes, he might end up going down exactly like Al Capone, dying of syphilis in Florida? Even if Trump is convicted, it would not legally prevent him from being able to run for president. And while I'm not saying I want him to win the presidency from prison, what a great moment of representation it would be for convicted felons who are looking to re-enter the workforce and in public service. Remember, in the wake of this indictment, there may be a lot of AI fakes floating around. The way to tell is, look at the hands. If Trump has normal hands, that's Midjourney. Meanwhile, in other news, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy successfully landed the first joke of his life this morning, and unfortunately, it was this one, about the debt ceiling negotiations.
I don't know what more I can do and how easy. I would bring the lunch to the White House. I would make it soft food if that's what he wants. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes to meet.
Said 81-year-old Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, great burn, Kev. I can't do it. Great burn, Kev. Great burn, Kev. But on a serious note, are we talking Jell-O? We're talking cottage cheese? I'd love to get in on this. Speaking of the president, a recent poll conducted by Monmouth University showed that 44% of Democrats would prefer if Joe Biden didn't pursue re-election, though most could not name an alternative. We're Democrats, they said to the pollster. We're in the problem noticing business. Donald Trump held a pre-indictment rally in Waco, Texas, which just so happens to fall on the 30th anniversary of the FBI's 1993 siege in Waco at the Branch Davidian compound. Yet another anniversary he forgets to acknowledge, muttered. No, wait, I fucked that up too. It's the emphasis was on the wrong syllable. It's not yet another, it's yet another. You know what I mean? You guys will get it. You know where the joke ends. Which is how you know it's really good. Yet another anniversary he forgets to acknowledge, muttered Melania. Do the accent, it says in parentheses. During the rally, Trump stood with his hand over his heart as speakers blared the song Justice for All, which he recorded with a choir of January 6 prisoners. The choir, none other than the Hang Mike Pentatonics. I like that one. I like that. I like any joke about Hang Mike Pence. It's just such a... In a town hall this week in New Hampshire, Christie came for Trump again. Said the former governor, the only person Trump cares about is him. And if we haven't learned that since Election Day of 2020, then we are not paying attention. Said your average American. What? Sorry, I missed what you said. Another train just is written. What? Sorry. A lot of acting today. What? Sorry, I missed what you said. Another train just derailed outside my house. What do you think happened there? Brought the energy down. Christie went on to say that he made a strategic error in supporting Trump because he didn't want Hillary to win, but didn't know what kind of president Trump would really be. Of course, that sort of makes it seem like he abandoned Trump after he became president, but he didn't. He didn't just stay with him in 2016. He stayed with him so long, Trump almost killed him with COVID.
He didn't tell us. I went into the hospital in the intensive care unit. He didn't call and tell me. So I think that's inexcusable.
You had always suspected that you got it from the president. Is that right?
Well, the only reason I suspected it was because he was the only person who I didn't know his testing regimen. I was in close contact with.
So Christie has learned now from Mark Meadows' book that Trump tested positive, didn't tell him, gave him COVID, and almost killed him. And in case you're wondering, Christie is still open to supporting Donald Trump in 2024, which means this is pretty amazing that both Mike Pence and Christie, two very senior advisors to Donald Trump, are both still willing to vote for him, even though he tried to kill both of them. That is amazing. That is loyalty. That is charisma. What must he be like in a room? When asked for comments about Christie's remarks, a spokesman for Trump said, "Who's that?" It sounds, yeah, it's tough. It sounds like a decent slam until you realize it was It sounds like a decent slam until you realize a napkin was stuck to Rudy Giuliani's glasses and he was just trying to figure out who was talking. Also, great news, everybody. Effective immediately, you can buy a pistol without a permit in North Carolina. After the Republican-led legislature overrode a veto by Democratic Governor Roy Cooper, the bill aims to get rid of all that pesky red tape and replace it with yellow tape that has words on it. In Idaho, In Idaho, the legislature is on the verge of creating a new crime called abortion trafficking, under which anyone who helps a minor travel to obtain an abortion while aiming to conceal it from their parents or guardians can be charged with a felony. Also, anyone involved can be sued by the family or the father of the fetus. Abortion trafficking is not to be confused with abortion traffic, a situation that arises on surface streets when Herschel Walker is in town. There will be a last joke about him, but today is not that day. Of course, Idaho doesn't have the authority to ban activities that take place out of state. This bill would only criminalize traveling within Idaho with the intent to help a minor get an abortion. So look out for a big spike in weekend trips where people impulsively decide to get an abortion as soon as they've crossed state lines. It's like when you drive past a cute little East Coast town and you have to just buy a little saltwater taffy before returning to the Christian fundamentalist anti-taffy regime you call home. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Monday that he'd delay plans to overhaul the judiciary after mass protests ground the country's economy to a halt. Said hundreds of thousands of Israelis in the streets, "Oh, you want to be an autocrat? You know your cousin's going to be a doctor. We're not mad, we're just disappointed. And are you eating?" On Monday, the president of Ghana said substantial elements of a terrifying anti-LGBTQ bill currently in the country's parliament have been modified following a visit from Kamala Harris. The previous policy for Ghanaians who wanted to sleep with people of their own gender was,
"Do not come. Do not come."
Pope Francis was spotted looking fly as hell in a white puffer jacket this week. Oh, wait. No, he wasn't. This was created in Midjourney, the AI image generator, and fooled God knows how many people before enough people who knew better could explain. Said the creator of the viral image in an interview with BuzzFeed, "I just thought it was funny to see the Pope in a funny jacket. God damn it, he's hired." Look, it's going to get a lot harder to tell whether or not a photo is real. Where an image comes from is going to be just as important as what the image shows. For example, this is the Pope on a motorcycle. It looks real, but you know that I made it this afternoon. And it's so cool. Did we do more? Do we have more? Yeah. Now, you all have to look at the next few pictures and tell me which one you think is real. Let's go to the next one. That is a date between Bernie Sanders and Nancy Pelosi in the 1970s. Next, that's Laura Dern at a WTO protest. Then it's Oprah and Donald Trump splitting a hoagie in the 80s. And that's the one time Abraham Lincoln met Charles Darwin. So which was the real one? None of them are real, you fucking gullible people. Get with the program. No, Oprah and Donald Trump didn't split a fucking hoagie. We are so fucked. We are so unbelievably fucked. Oh, in the criminal justice system, our viewing pleasure is represented by two separate but equally important groups. An elderly skier with an angle, who from all evidence is mean to his daughter, and a Hollywood medicine woman dressed like Hester Prynne and running off bone broth fumes. These are their hilarious stories. Too late, Malcolm. Go back up. These are their hilarious stories. Just a little quick. These are their hilarious stories. Okay. We'll get it next time, I guess. Terry Sanderson, the 73-year-old optometrist who accused Gwyneth Paltrow of plowing into him on a ski slope, took the stand this week. It, of course, at first seemed like it had to be an accident. And then news broke that a second Gwyneth Paltrow had struck the optometrist. You know what? Sometimes you're wrong. Sanderson claimed he had become a self-imposed recluse following his alleged collision with the actress in 2016 due to the physical and mental damage he sustained in the incident. Of course, if your reclusiveness is not self-imposed, you're not a recluse. You're a prisoner. It's always self-imposed. That's what it fucking means. Lindsay Lohan wasn't a recluse when she was under house arrest. Anyway, it's a real tragedy, because if you've ever met a 73-year-old optometrist, you know they're always the life of the party. Unfortunately for Sanderson, his second visit to the stand did a lot to damage his testimony from the first, specifically with the revelation that he has literally traveled the world since that fateful day. What? Don't just fix it.
Visit Machu Picchu.
Costa Rica, yes.
Walk the Golden Trail.
Yes.
Machu Picchu is in Peru.
Yes.
Floated down the Amazon.
Yes, I guess so.
Costa Rica. Did you do a zip line?
Same trip, yes.
Did you go to Europe? Visit Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, France, Belgium?
With my daughter, Jenny, yes.
Bottom half, James, please. Did you go to the Netherlands 3 times?
I don't remember.
He did a zip line. This self-imposed recluse did a zip line. What a fucking Canary Islands, Jesus Christ. This lawyer makes Paltrow look so good, you'd think he was made of stem cells and Ozempic. It's easy to make fun of Terry Sanderson, but it's easy to make fun. But Terry Sanderson has already crossed off everything on my bucket list. Peru, the Canary Islands, suing Gwyneth Paltrow, Costa Rica. This guy has a way more fulfilling life than any of us. Should we all try to get mauled by Gwyneth Paltrow? Then, as if that wasn't enough, Gwyneth's lawyer brought out the many Facebook photos Sanderson posted cataloging what I can only describe as a phantasmagoria of incredible travel adventures.
This is you and your girlfriend. Is that southern Utah hiking?
I don't remember where.
Looks like you have one of those cool backpacks with water on. Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
It is incredible. This is a senior citizen claiming Gwyneth Paltrow destroyed his life. This is the man's life in ruins. What kind of Met Gala cocaine-fueled bungee jumping nonstop fuckfest must he have been living before? This is like when the guy you've gone on 3 dates with says he's super busy with work and then immediately posts a photo from a hot air balloon festival. Did you think we weren't gonna fucking see it? At one point, Paltrow's lawyer and Sanderson get into an argument about whether or not he went kayaking at any point after his alleged run-in with Gwyneth. Spoiler alert, he did.
Is this you kayaking after the collision? We're 7 months after the collision.
Absolutely not.
Is that a kayak above you?
I don't know what it is.
Sir, I asked you about this in your deposition. Is this you kayaking?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Great. Fantastic. Again, this man claimed to be a recluse. If I ever bump into Gwyneth Paltrow on a ski slope, I'm going to win a settlement so fast. The best lawyers in the world can't dig up a single photo of me doing anything outdoors. And if Sanderson wasn't toast then, when asked why he was bringing his case against Paltrow, Sanderson went wide with it and tried to connect this case. Well, why don't you see what he tried to connect this case to?
What is going on here? This is obviously an issue that someone needs to be accountable for. And if they're never accountable, what are they going to do? They're going to do it again. Now we have the molesting of young children on an island. Denied.
That's right. That's right. He put Gwyneth Paltrow on a flight from Park City to Epstein's fucking island. And then, thank you, Malcolm. Give it up for Malcolm. Just as we finished scrambling to add the Trump indictment jokes, the verdict was in.
Was Gwyneth Paltrow at fault? No. Was Gwyneth Paltrow's fault a cause of Terry Sanderson's harm? Oh, no, skip that.
There's just no response there.
Okay. Was Terry Sanderson at fault? Yes. Was Terry Sanderson's fault a cause Gwyneth Paltrow's... Did Terry Sanderson's fault cause Gwyneth Paltrow's harm? Yes. Comparative fault. What % of the fault do you assign to Terry Sanderson? 100%. Damages. What amount fairly compensates Gwyneth Paltrow for economic damages? $1. Signed March 30th, 2023.
Thank you.
And she's Gwyneth. I want you to know something that happened that I saw the wheels turning in real time. Sarah Lazarus, great writer at Crooked Media. She immediately, right as the verdict came in, she was like, I'd wear a shirt that said Gwyneth innocent. Then she kind of sat silently for 2 minutes and she just said, Gwyneth. It was amazing. It was amazing. After the verdict was read, Gwyneth Paltrow stood up and walked out of the courtroom. But this is real. She stopped at Sanderson's table and whispered in his ear, I wish you well. That's real. That she really did that. And then off she went, never to see him again. And then, as Sanderson sat there defeated, a hot mic caught Gwyneth in the bathroom saying this.
Kill them all, of course.
Twist. What was that movie with Richard Gere and Ed Norton? Primal Fear. Could be. Wouldn't that be something? And in other news, do you understand that I watched the whole thing? The whole goddamn trial? Every minute? I watched all of it. Do you know that? Do people understand that? That I watched all of it? I skipped some of the doctors because Jesus Christ, but I really watched almost everything. Okay. And in other news this week, the FDA approved Narcan, the emergency treatment for opioid overdoses, to be sold over the counter without a prescription. You know what that means? Look under your seats, everybody. The principal of a Florida charter school has resigned after parents complained that their kids were shown pictures of art during an art history class, specifically Michelangelo's David, which the parents called pornographic. To be fair, the statue was labeled Italian Twink Whips It Out for Horny Museum Goers, Full Scene HD. Researchers say that astronauts on future lunar missions may be able to extract huge quantities of water from tiny glass beads on the moon's surface. Drinkable water on the moon? That's amazing, said the residents of East Palestine, Ohio. Scientists in Australia have created a protein from woolly mammoth DNA, using it to produce a small woolly mammoth meatball. According to one of the scientists who worked on the project, that's real, the mammoth meatball isn't considered safe to eat since we don't know how our immune system will react to the extinct protein. I am unmarried. I have no children. I have trained for this all my life. This is my moon landing. Give me the meatball. Scientists say this is the only one of the meatballs they've been able to create, and scientists hope to study the tiny morsel of meat to learn how to produce it on a massive scale with the potential to solve global hunger. This just in, Homer Simpson has eaten the meatball. Would be a classic. You know, it's a classic Homer move. A group of 1,000 experts led by an organization funded by AI skeptic Elon Musk has released an open letter calling for a pause of at least 6 months in the release of ever more powerful AI technology, citing unknown risks these advances may pose to society. According to the letter, it's possible AI will put the Pope in jackets, which we can hardly conceive of. I'm worried this technology might lead to harm, said a distracted Musk as his self-driving Tesla cruised down a grocery store dairy aisle. And finally, marine biologists have reported that a giant blob of seaweed in the Atlantic Ocean, larger than the United States, is drifting towards Florida. Oh God, look at that, it's disgusting, said the sea blob upon reaching Florida. When we come back, a real Renaissance man.